Please join me in welcoming Mr. Russell Sarder.
Thank you for the kind introduction. I want to first say that I am so excited and I'm feeling so passionate because I am honored by the fact that there's so many talented people over here and so many different certifications you have received over a time period. Today, what I want to talk to you about, what are the biggest challenge companies are facing all over the world, and how those challenges are creating major opportunities for all of your graduates, and how you can capitalize on this opportunity. And most importantly, I'm going to share a couple of stories with you, and those stories are going to be used to define 3 different success principles that you could practice to go all the way top within the IT industry or whatever industry you go in the long run. I want to share a story with you. I've been interviewing a lot of CEOs, CIOs, and decision makers to write my most recent book because I wanted to find out how to build an innovative learning organization and how organization can build a smarter workforce, adapt to change, and drive growth. And I had an opportunity to interview the CIO of United Nations. She is one of the top 50 chief information officer in the entire world. She was also the CIO of Ogilvy and Mather, is one of the largest PR firm in the entire world. So during the conversation, I asked her about success principle, but one of the key things I wanted to find out, what is the biggest problem, biggest challenge you are facing in United Nations, or all the companies that you have ran in the past? She immediately said, skill gap. And I was shocked. As a matter of fact, one of our code I want to share with you. There's a book written by a friend of mine, Gary Bitch, and name of the book called The U.S. Technology Skill Gap. And this is what she said in the book. As a CIO, I have much tougher time finding qualified candidates today comparing to 20 years ago. This shortage of qualified staff is forcing businesses to outsource more work in developing markets. So I want you to think about that. The biggest problem, one of the biggest problems she's facing is she cannot find the right people with the right skills to do the job now. As a matter of fact, there is a company called Robert Half. It's a $1 billion company, and they surveyed approximately 1,400 CIOs, top CIOs. And they asked them the same question, what is the challenge that you're facing? And 51% of them said that they have difficulties finding the right people with the right technology skills to do the job right now. What a great opportunity for you. Last night, because of this presentation, I was doing a research to find out how many jobs are open in the United States. According to the Department of Labor, there's over 5.1 million jobs are open in the United States, and hundreds of thousands of those jobs are within the IT industry, and companies can find people with the right job. So you are sitting on a gold mine right now. The skills that you got, these are the skills necessary to work within the IT field. These are the skills that companies are looking for. You have the strong foundation right now, so you will be able to capitalize on this opportunity going forward. But I also want you to understand the business reason why organizations are having this skill gap problem. Because a lot of times I see that IT professionals, they only think about information technology. They don't really think about how those technologies that you're learning solves the organization business problem, or why is that organizations are using those technologies. So that's one of the reasons I want to share the business side of this, that why there's a skill gap problems, why companies cannot find qualified people like you. One of the key reasons is that technology is changing consistently, and I'm not going to go deep into that. All of you are going to get a copy of the book. I would recommend you, if you have time, read chapter 1 and chapter 2 of that book, and some of these are explained in detail. Technology is changing consistently, which is forcing the companies to change their business model. And as the business model is changing, technology is changing, job roles are changing. And because of also the globalization, what's happening in the world, that's also creating the skill gap problem. So I want to give you some example, and you probably know that here is the top 8 technology trend that's happening in the world right now. And some of you probably developed some of those skills already. Mobile, social, Internet of Things, 3D printing, big data, cloud, security, machine learnings. These are all the technologies that are coming in. As a matter of fact, today, I was reading Wall Street Journal. And in the morning, I know I'm going to give this presentation. It says that cloud sales give Oracle a needed boost. Oracle used to be recognized as one of the biggest database company out there. But now they're selling cloud services. Cloud is becoming a huge revenue generator for Oracle. But if you go inside of this article, you're going to find out it's not just about Oracle. Microsoft cloud revenue is going up. Cisco's cloud revenue is going up. And these revenues are going up means that they are taking those technology, deploying into different organizations, and those jobs are going to be created. So social, mobile, big data, Internet of Things, cloud, security, these are the areas you want to develop your skills. You have the foundation, but don't stop here. Try to get all the other related skills. Think about how this changes, also changing the business model of the company. So all of you are here Microsoft certified, Cisco certified. When I initially got into the IT, Microsoft was a software company. Now they're a software, hardware, and service company. Cisco used to be a hardware company. Now they're a software, hardware, and service company. If you think about Oracle, used to be defined as a database company. They are no longer a database company. They are within every single boxes you see over here. They're competing everywhere within all of those boxes. So because of the technology change, the business model of Cisco changed, business model of Oracle changed, business model of Microsoft changed, business model of Google changed. Google is no longer a search company. They're a lot more than that. Now you think about it from a point of view, you're going to be system engineer, you're going to be networking engineer. The job role that you're going to have today is going to be completely different than job role you're going to have 2 years down the line, 3 years down the line, because some of those technologies are going to change. So how you're going to deal with the changes that you have to develop the skills on how to learn. You need to develop the skills on how you can deal with all these changes that are happening within the marketplace. Other things I see, that world is changing. The power is shifting from the west to the east. China is rising. India is rising. Because of the globalization, the companies from US are going to look for you. As a matter of fact, we're a US-based organization. We have so many employees over here, but we're also hiring employees in India. Because of the technology improves so much, and you cannot find the talent within the over here, so you are going outside of the United States and look for those people with the right skills. I am so excited because of the fact that you are all within the technology field. I feel like we are so lucky that we are all technologists. We are so lucky that we are living on 21st century. We're so lucky that while we are alive, all these advancements is happening. We're so lucky that our children are going to have so much more opportunity because every single company right now is a technology company. Are you guys excited or am I excited? Are you excited? I'm so proud of you. And as a matter of fact, I'm so proud of the parents also, and you should be thanking your parents. And I'm sure most of them probably paid your tuition fee. I just can't believe. When I was listening to Ariel's story, first of all, you're so lucky to have a great teacher and great person like Ariel. And I was listening to his story. I was emotional. You're so lucky to have him. You're so lucky to have your parents. And you're so lucky, again, I'm pointing out that you are within the technology industry. Now I want to tell you 3 stories. And I will tie those 3 stories with 3 lessons that I want you to walk out with. You all know him, Bill Gates. Who doesn't know Bill Gates? As a matter of fact, you're Microsoft certified, so you need to know about Bill Gates. Last night I saw that Bill Gates, he's the richest man in the world, but his worth is right now approximately $79 billion. As a matter of fact, over the last 4 or 5 years, he went from 40 to 79. It was very interesting to find out how he did that. But I want you to analyze Bill Gates' life story. I've been analyzing for a long period of time. As a matter of fact, Bill Gates is probably the person who encouraged me when I heard his story to come to the United States. You probably heard this story many times. When he was 13 years old, he was so passionate about computers. He was so passionate about programming. You know that he figured out when he was 13 years old, he knew what he wanted to do. And a lot of times we think that he dropped out of college, he went to Harvard. But even when he went to Harvard, his most favorite space in Harvard was the computer lab. Computer is what he was passionate about. And he missed his regular classes and always spent time with computer. And he ended up dropping out from his school to go and start the business with his high school friend, Alan. You heard of that. So when you analyze his history, what do you find out? That he is so passionate about what he does. He knows exactly what he wants. When he hired his first secretary, she walked into the office, and she sees a guy sleeping under the table in Microsoft. And she almost called a cop. She thought, what's going on? Who is here? And then she realized that it's Bill Gates who was sleeping under the table. So when Bill Gates started his business, he was working from morning to 3 every single day. Every single day. Microsoft was his life. So he didn't get to the top just being passionate. He worked hard to get to where he went to. He worked hard every single day. He and his partner stayed in the office until 3 o'clock at night. They slept there. I was listening to Bill Gates' dad in Charlie Rose show, and I want to tell you a little bit that one of the key reasons I came to the United States is because of Bill Gates. And my dad always used to be so proud because my dad got a chance to meet Bill Gates' dad. He was donating a lot of money to build his hospital back in Bangladesh. And other thing happened also, ironically, that I got into a business to sell Microsoft training, Cisco training, Oracle training at the beginning. And Microsoft gave us an award to become the #1 Microsoft authorized training center out of 1,600 in the entire world in 2007. And I was so excited because it's a Bill Gates company. And as a matter of fact, this year, a couple of weeks ago, we got nominated as a #1 in the entire US all over again. And you are part of that. You're getting certification, Microsoft certification, a certification from a company that's #1 this year also within United States. But the Charlie Rose was asking Bill Gates' dad that, what do you think made your son so successful? Can you guys guess what dad said? He's a hard worker, he's passionate, but most importantly, what made him successful is his intellectual curiosity to learn. So sometimes people confuse us. He dropped out from Harvard, but is he a lifelong learner? As a matter of fact, right now, he's reading books about malaria, about diarrhea, about disease. He's reading books about philanthropy. He's reading. Bill Gates' favorite room in his house in Seattle is the library. He has a big library at home. He loves to read so much. He used to read the biographies of successful people. If you ever went to Bill Gates' office, it was the pictures of the famous people that he admired. He is an avid reader. Bill Gates is a passionate, lifelong learner. If you want to get to the top, if you want to become successful, if you want to achieve anything you want to achieve, you need to be passionate about what you do, you need to be a hard worker, and you need to be passionate, lifelong learner. Anybody know who this guy is? Anybody can guess? He looks like me, right? As a matter of fact, a lot of people say he looks like me. He is the new CEO of Microsoft, Satya Nadella. As a matter of fact, I like to think that I look better than him. Do you guys believe that? I think I look better than him. But he's definitely smarter. As a matter of fact, Satya Nadella is the highest paid tech CEO in the entire world. He worked for Microsoft. He's been working for Microsoft almost 25 years. So I started to read about Satya, and I started to follow him. I couldn't figure out why, how did he, an immigrant from India, came to US, has a computer science degree, how did he get to the top in Microsoft? I had a chance to meet him multiple times over the last 6, 7 years. As a matter of fact, first time when I saw him giving a speech at Microsoft, and he wasn't the CEO of Microsoft, I immediately knew this guy is going to get to the top. Because when he speaks, he speaks with confidence, he speaks with passion, and you can feel it. He loves what he does. As a matter of fact, I just went to his Microsoft website, and I got a code from his website, and this is what he said. You have to fall in love with what you do. Find your purpose at work and be the source of your own energy. He believes that we should not separate business with personal life. These are all intertwined because of what's happening with the technology. So by analyzing him, what I'm finding out, he's passionate. He's a hard worker. He's been working 25 years for Microsoft. And when you work hard, you don't have to go and tell Bill Gates, hey, I work hard, give me the CEO position. Because people can feel it. They can see it when you work hard. He is an extremely hard worker. And most importantly, he is also passionate, lifelong learner. On his bio on Microsoft, on the first page, it says that I am a lifelong learner. I buy more books than I can read. Lifelong learner. Do you see something in common? As a matter of fact, when you analyze the personality of Bill Gates versus Satya Nadella, Bill Gates was aggressive. Nadella is a little bit more humble. Bill Gates is a lot more competitive. He is forcefully competitive. Satya Nadella is quietly competitive. They have different personality. Bill Gates was really good at running a startup company. Satya Nadella is good at running a matured organization. When Bill Gates was running Microsoft, Microsoft was a closed system, and Satya Nadella is running an open system. They have two different personality. But in the core, they both are same. Both of them are passionate, hard worker, lifelong learner. They have something in common. In my last book, I read a book about how to become a passionate lifelong learner, and I researched all the successful people, whether they're CEO or whether they're the top authors or the president of the United States. What I found out that all successful people has few things in common. And all successful people, you're going to find out they're passionate, they're hard worker, and they're passionate lifelong learner. There's other qualities there, but these three things I saw that everybody has it. I want to tell you a little bit about my story. My story is not as important as their stories. The reason I'm telling this story, I love Mary Penela, and Mary told me that Russell, share your own story with the team. I came to this country when I was pretty young. I went to computer science. I had a computer science major. As a matter of fact, my classmate, who is also the co-founder of the company, Adam Chung, is here. He used to do my homework. If you wanted to find a very smart, talented person who understands technology, who understands business, you should talk to Adam Chung. And I love this guy. He's one of the key reasons we became moderately successful. So when I came to this country, my dad went to school over here, but he went back to Bangladesh, and my dad paid first-year tuition fee. And I remember he gave me $3,500, and by the plane ticket I came in, I went to First Indiana State University. And I actually finished up what he gave me within first semester. And I know that even though I used to think my dad is doing pretty well, now I realize that how poor he was, even though he was a doctor. My one quarter tuition fee was his entire year's salary. So I didn't want to go back and ask him for more money. So I went back and I started to lie to him that, Dad, I got full scholarship. Dad, I got a great job. They're paying so much money. You don't have to send me money anymore. But what I was actually doing during the summertime, I was doing 3 jobs. Job in the morning, job at night. At one point, I was attempting to work without sleeping. And I realized it's not a good idea. 3 jobs is too much. 2 is probably better. I was working 3 jobs every single summer. And I was going full-time in school, and I was also working full-time. It was a very, very difficult thing for me. Second thing what happened is that as we went for computer science program, I started, as soon as I left school, even during the school time, I knew that I wanted to get into the business. I don't know where I got it, but I had the passion for starting a business. So I started my business when I was approximately 22, 21 years old. I failed into multiple businesses. As a matter of fact, one of the business that me, Adam, we co-founded, and this is 6 months after the school, there's a venture capitalist came in and wrote us a $2 million check to start a business. We almost had a heart attack. But we worked so hard, and we made that business world one of the top 15 largest highly trafficked site in the entire world. And I'm talking about during the .com time. It had at 1.5 million unique visitor, but it had no revenue. So we spent $2 million, somebody else's money, within, Adam, you remember, within 4 months. And we only had $5,000 revenue. So imagine the business model. You spend $2 million to generate $5,000. But we had millions of people were visiting our website. What we attempted to do, we attempted to build the Yelp. I don't know if anybody used Yelp version almost 22, 23 years ago. But angryman.com failed. We went into the hosting business, wasted money. That company also failed. We went into magazine business. As a matter of fact, one of the magazine business that we had called Computer Training Magazine, then eventually it was Technology Training Magazine. Bill Gates himself actually wrote an article on our magazine. That business also failed. So we have successfully failed into multiple businesses before we found success with a couple of the businesses right now. So the point I'm trying to make over here is that failure is the pillar of success. You have to fail fast, you have to fail often, you have to fail multiple times until you find success. Success doesn't come easily. It doesn't come easily at all. Next point I wanted to make that I remember from my first business, I was so young, and one of the trainers that I hired, I still remember John. He used to drink too much. I don't know why he drank. He had a PhD. So I'm a young guy. I just finished my bachelor degree, and I have to manage a trainer who has a PhD. Then as the company started to do well, you surround yourself with a lot of great people, but you had to manage people that know way more than you. They have way more experience. And how do you run a business where you can drive traffic, you're passionate, you're working hard, but you don't really understand the business? So at one point I realized that I have to do self-directed learning. So I'll tell you how I was learning about business. I learned by reading. I read over the years, and I sometimes brag about it, and I'm saying this because I want you to do that. I read over 1,600 business books. I ran by asking questions. Every vendor that was doing business with us, I was trying to get to the CEO or top level of those people and ask them, how did you make your business successful? Learn from them. I learned by taking courses. There's a lot of online courses, a lot of classroom training you could go and take continuing education courses. I learned by doing research. And I'll tell you, one of the great forms of learning, and I encourage all of you guys can become an author. One of the best way to learn is learn by writing. You don't really know what you know or what you think until you start to write. And the best form of learning is you learn by teaching. If you have to teach something, you really have to study, you have to do the research, you have to build your confidence, you have to build your conviction, and eventually you'll be able to teach. So if I look back to my life, my lessons I'll give you, and it ties back to others, that if you want to become successful, you have to be passionate about what you do. Know what you are passionate about. Choose the job you like. You never have to work again. If you know what you are passionate about, there is going to be no hard work. You'll be doing what Bill Gates did. You'll be working until 3 o'clock at night every single day. I know a lot of people, they're highly passionate, but they don't work hard. You can lose with hard work. You can fail with hard work, but you cannot win without hard work. And most importantly, be a passionate lifelong learner. Learning is fun. Learning is motivated, learning is hard, learning is joyful, learning is life. Be a passionate lifelong learner. The purpose of NetCom learning is to promote the values of lifelong learning. Develop the passion for learning. Be a lifelong learner. Thank you, guys.